19. And January 2020, I went to the cardiologist. They ran all kind of tests. I spent half a day and half my money, y'all. And he said, it's not my heart. And I'm like, something hurts on the left-hand side. So he referred me to an endocrinologist because he thought maybe there's something going on with my thyroid. My mother and grandmother have a history of thyroid issues in our family. So I said, okay, let me go to this endocrinologist. Endocrinologists also deal with diabetes, and I am a diabetic. So my first visit with this gentleman, he pricked my finger and it was 195, my blood glucose level. That's extremely high, y'all, first thing in the morning. Obviously, I didn't eat something right the night before, but he was going on about my diabetes. And I'm like, I'm here for you to figure out why my heart is hurting. Like, stay in your lane. I have a lady from diabetes, figure out why my heart is hurting. So he did some blood work, told me to come back in 2 weeks. Thankfully, he didn't find anything wrong with my thyroid, but he places me on cholesterol medication. So I'm already taking medication for diabetes and high blood pressure. Now here goes a third med. And I'm that chick that gets side effects. I'm like, well, what's the side effect of this? And he told me you can't eat grapefruit, which I love, and muscle cramps. And I was like, well, I get Charlie horses on my own. I don't need any help from a prescription medication. It's a statin med and you take it at night. So I honestly didn't sleep well at all because I'm just afraid and in fear. And sure enough, I got the cramps, but I didn't need any help with that, y'all, because I was already suffering from that and thinking that was part of me being a diabetic. And so from there, he wanted me to do a thyroid ultrasound and some more extensive blood work and come back in 10 weeks. Again, this is January 2020. February 2020, Dr. Williams had a live, like a sip and see event at her dental practice. And I was able to go. She had invited me before, but again, single mom, two practices and a realtor and my dad, take care of my dad. So I was just busy. It wasn't that I didn't need it. I absolutely needed it. So February 22nd, 2020. I left her office with Active. So y'all, she started this love affair with Active. I love Active. It's our natural energy drink. I drink it every morning. I don't want to go a day without drinking Active. It's just my choice to feel good every day. So I started on the triplex March of 2020, right before we got shut down. And right before I found out I really wasn't going on the Tom Joyner cruise for the first time ever in my life. So I was on that cruise March the 28th. It's on my bucket list. My birthday's March 29th. So when I got my triplex, I read on the slim package and it said four optimal results, drink 2 a day. And, you know, before I just heard drink 1 a day, but no, I read and it said optimal, and I needed optimal because I thought I was going on the Tom Joyner cruise. So I started drinking 2 slims a day from day one. And immediately I was like, oh, I'm not as hungry. I was like, it was kind of weird because I truly wasn't as hungry, y'all. Like it worked fast for me. This is not anything quick. I share with people all the time, this is not quick weight loss. It just worked pretty quickly for me. I mean, as far as me just feeling good and feeling better. So 2 slims a day, drinking my water. I was already a person who drank a lot of water anyway. Taking my triplex as directed. And within a week, I had lost some weight. So I got on off the scale 3 times because I didn't believe it. But I was like, oh, I just started sharing with everybody. And then lo and behold, March of 2020, the governor of Texas shuts dentistry down. So I own 2 dental practices. One was totally shut down. The other one, my business partner kept it open for emergencies. We can only see emergency patients. But because my daughter's illness does compromise her immune system, I chose to stay home. Well, if I don't go to work, I don't get paid. So Plexus could not have come into my life at a better time because I felt amazing. I started sharing it with everybody. I have history of heart attacks in my family, strokes in my family, hypertension. So first I targeted all my family members. So everybody in my entire family is pretty much on Plexus because I need them to stay healthy. Like I can't take care of everybody. So let's just all be healthy. So we don't have to take care of, everybody's gonna be able to take care of themselves. And then I truly think about, I don't want to be a burden on my children. Not that my parents are a burden on me, but with my daughter's illness, I got to stay healthy to take care of her. Like I'm always thinking about, I got to be there for her. Even, I'm the mom and she's a child, but I got to be there because her chronic illness, the only cure is a bone marrow transplant. So, I mean, it's just a lot involved with that. So I decided, and I love, our sisters on here, Dr. Wilson, she had a post about it starts with a decision. And she decided January 2020 to get her health in order. And I did the same thing. So I just think it's perfect. But I just started sharing this with everyone. And Plexus compensates you just for sharing. So during the pandemic, when we were totally shut down and I wasn't working in my dental practice, I was able to earn enough money to cover the cost of my mortgage for March, April, and May. Was able to go back to work in May, but then something else happened. My car broke down, and it ended up being engine problems, and engine problems are not cheap. And I always say this, y'all, I'm not a person who cries a lot, but the day my car was ready and the man told me how much it cost, I cried. But it was tears of joy crying, because the day before I got an email from Plexus saying you got paid, and it was almost the exact same amount of money I had to give that man for my car. So this whole health and happiness thing is true, because I cry now more than I ever cried in my life since I've been on Plexus, y'all, I ain't lying. But it's a happy cry, like it's happiness. I'm not sad at all. Like I feel amazing. I often get compliments now because I have lost 26 pounds along the way with this. I have dropped my A1C. So I started this to beat diabetes, and it's working. It's working, working. So January 2020, A1C 7.6. 6 weeks on the products, I was due to go back. And so it went down to a 6.8. I was so excited about that. I haven't been in the 6 range since they diagnosed me over 7 years ago. I'm still on Plexus. 3 months later, 6.7. I'm like, oh, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. 3 months later, 6.2. So 6.2 is pre-diabetic range, y'all. So eventually I'm going to get to the range where they're saying, guess what, Dr. Peachy, you no longer have to take metformin. So my doses have been decreased because my A1Cs keep, getting lower. My blood pressure medication dosage decreased. Oh, that cholesterol med, I no longer have to take that. Off of cholesterol medication already. In January, my cholesterol was 190. When I took it again in April, it went down to 134. My triglycerides, which is something I've always suffered from, never really understood it. Like, why do I have fat in my bloodstream? I don't know. But I was at a 164. It should not be over 150, but I went all the way down to 111. My bad cholesterol, which is the LDL, our LDL, mine was at a 112, and that went all the way down to 69. So all those lipid levels are well within normal range. So I no longer have to take that cholesterol medication. I'm so excited about that. When I went back to visit the endocrinologist in 10 weeks, when I walked in, he's like, how'd you lose 30 pounds so fast? And I'm like, first of all, it's been 10 weeks. Ain't been that fast, sir. And I had lost 15 pounds, not 30. And that's when I realized that I had a lot of inflammation on my body that I didn't even realize. A lot of information that was probably causing me all this chronic aches and pains that I had to go to the chiropractor for, that I used to blame on dentistry. Poor chiropractor. I don't really need her anymore. I just go because I like her. I want to help her support her Black business, but I don't need her, y'all. I don't have those pains anymore. Even my own father thought I had lost 30 pounds at the same time. The endocrinologist thought I had lost 30 pounds. And I've yet to get to that 30, but I am. I'm still kind of at my 26 pounds weight loss. But even if I didn't lose a pound, the fact that I feel so good, I wouldn't trade this for the world. I would still do it all over again because I am no longer exhausted. I used to be exhausted. It is very challenging running a dental practice, and it's even more challenging now in the new normal of dentistry. And so I'm just so grateful that my attitude is better. I feel better. And a lot of times when things are crazy about office, I just look at them and laugh at them. I'm like, everybody needs to be on Plexus. Like, everybody needs the mental clarity that I have. You should just see me in my office. I come in with active. Sometimes I leave with active because if I know I'm going to go, exercise a little bit, I may drink a second one in the afternoon. And today I almost had 3, y'all. And it wasn't like I needed it. I just liked the taste of it. And I was like, I'm going to put it in the group. Does anybody drink 3 actives a day? Or is it just me? And I don't work out. So it's not like I'm not going to go to the gym, and no, I just like the taste of active. So it's kind of crazy. I'm on 2 actives a day sometimes. But overall, I feel great. And I have been sharing this with everyone. It has also helped my children. Like I said, my daughter with her chronic illness, her hemoglobin got better, and that hadn't happened. I have a 17-year-old son who suffered from constipation. That is fixed. And we had missed school for this. We've gone doctors for this. And if I could just keep him consistent, which I got to like make the 17-year-old son do right. My daughter is a little older. She does what she should do most of the time. But these products have just truly blessed my life and my family's life, and financially has just been a blessing to me in 2020 and even now into 2021. But I always say that this was definitely perfect God's timing. I am grateful for Dr. Williams for not giving up on me and knowing that I needed this. I really, really needed this. Going in, doing this to beat diabetes and just to be healthier, made that decision in 2020 that I am going to take care of my health. But I also found out that I could earn the Plexus Lexus in an all expense paid trip to Hawaii. And I'm like, well, sure, why not? I've been a realtor for 22 years. I've been a dentist for 25 years. So I've always believed in multiple streams of income. And I have a passion for both. I love doing both. And I love doing Plexus. So now I have three passionate things that I can actually earn some money from. So again, I am very, very grateful. And if this is something that you've been kind of on the fence about doing, we have a 60-day money back guarantee. So it's a win-win. To me, it's a no-brainer. Give it a try. If you take them as you should and be consistent, they are going to work. They do work. These all natural plant-based products work. So again, thank you for allowing me to share just some amazing wins that could not have come at a better time in 2020 for me.
Oh, goodness, girl. Every time I hear your testimony, I get something different from it. A, B, it's just so powerful, Tracy. I cannot tell you. So thank you so much for sharing. I do have a couple clarifying questions though. So I know you said you drink 2 active a day. Do you not drink starfruit guava?
I do have some, actually got a lot, but I like peach mango. So my starfruit guava is kind of like on my weekends, like I feel like I'm doing something, because I no longer drink alcohol. So that's kind of like my drink. But today
That
it's been
hurts
peach
my
mango
heart.
twice. Yeah.
That hurts my heart. I'm obsessed with starfruit guava. I just knew you were gonna love it.
I like it. I just I don't want to fall in love with it, Robin, because we don't get it that often. And I only have 12 bags over here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm glad you like the peach mango, but the starfruit guava is amazing, and I'm really pushing for it to be a permanent flavor. My next question
Yes.
for you though is this, Tracy. Do you still drink 2 pink drink a day?
No,
Okay.
no.
How long
Uh,
did you take 2 pink drink?
um, for a very long time, for about 9 months.
Were you on
And that
Slim? I mean, were you on HC or MBA?
correct. HC.
Okay. And you were
Hmm.
always doing 2 HC. You never did the mix up thing.
Oh, yes. Yes. So some days I would put my active and slim together,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would have like another slim later.
Okay.
So for the longest, it was one active, two slims. And now I'm kind of like one slim, two actives.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Perfect. I will say this, guys, if you really struggle in some of the areas where Tracy was struggling, blood sugar, really struggling with cholesterol and blood pressure, triglycerides, I do recommend 2 slim a day if you want faster results. I really think that's why you had so many great wins early
Yeah,
on, because you took 2 slim a day. So, yeah, that's so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Tracy.
you're welcome.
Okay, so next up is our awesome Emerald Ambassador, Rachel Davis. I'm trying to find her. Where's Rachel? There she is. I think she may be frozen though. Are you unmuted? Okay, there you go. There she is. Okay, Rachel, tell us where you're from and tell us all of your wins, girl.
Oh, thank you so much, Robin. I am Dr. Rachel Davis. I am a pharmacist in Houston, Texas. And I got started with Plexus to help my sister because that's what I do. I'm Enneagram 2 and I help people. That's what I mean, I got into healthcare for that. And that's just one of my things. I knew about Plexus years and years ago when I didn't understand the science behind it. So I lost a little weight and I was like, oh, okay. The pharmacist in me stepped in and said, you can just get a probiotic over the counter. Because, of course, I didn't understand that I had the answer in my hands at the time. I did not understand that. So my sister, Dr. Adrienne Williams, encouraged me. She said, you know, Rhea, my friend Rhea keeps telling me about the Plexus probiotic, and she's also my dentist. So, of course, when she said, hey, you really need to take a look at this with some things that were going on with me orally, I listened and I said, okay, I will. I enrolled in September of 2019 and I got my welcome pack and I started on my products. And then in February, I'll tell you what happened next and then I'll go back. February 22nd, like Dr. Petrie said, Dr. Williams had a in-person event. Of course, I was there. I loved active at the time. I run half marathons, so during training, it was really getting me through. You know, the inflammation wasn't there as much. I was motivated to work out. I was feeling better. I didn't have as much brain fog. My energy was increased. But what I really started Plexus for was chronic sinusitis, inflammation in my mouth that she was seeing. What obviously was candida overgrowth. Fungal infections, frequent fungal infections, all the things, right? So I was inconsistent though, y'all. So let me stop and say, at that event, I still was not sharing. I was finding some wins little by little, but I was helping my sister. Remember what I said? I was helping my sister. I wasn't doing this. You know, I was going to take my products and I was going to help my sister. So I was telling people, but I was saying, hey, you know, my sister is doing this, you know, let's hear about it. After that event in February, in-person event, Adrian called and said, Tracy got her 3. And I said, well, what does that mean? And she said, you know, that's what you're supposed to do. And I was like, oh, okay. Do you have your 3? And she was like, yeah, I have my 3. I've been had my 3. I said, okay, well, I can probably get 3. So on March the 16th, I enrolled my first ambassador. And then the rest is kind of history. That's when it kind of started going down that, well, Tracy, now I started seeing shout outs in Made for More. And if anybody feels the same way I feel, you don't have to raise your hand and let me know. But when you start seeing your picture up on the shout out board, it is invigorating. Well, it was for me anyway. And then I started seeing my friends and people that I shared with. I started seeing their picture on the shout outs, and I was sharing with people. But what was most, I think what prompted me most to share more is when I got the text. I think it was around maybe April, late April, early May, when people started getting off of medications, you know, and then it was like, okay, so Plexus is sending me these you got paid emails, and my friends that I'm sharing with and my family I'm sharing with are sending me texts that say, I'm feeling so much better. Thank you so much. This is such a blessing. I'm getting off my medications. You know, it just became a connect the dot situation for me. So in March, I ranked to senior silver. I had a launch in March. And Rhea was like, oh, we can do a launch. And I'm like, oh, no, we don't have to do a launch. You don't have to put my picture on a graphic. That's okay. I can just tell my friends. I was still very hesitant. So I just want to paint the picture that, y'all, I wasn't like Emerald by July when I joined Plexus. It was a decision that happened. I wish it had happened before it did. I had started sharing, but let me tell you what I was waiting on, or what I was doing between September when I joined and March 16th, when I enrolled my first ambassador. I was waiting to know it all. The pharmacist in me had to know clinically, had to look at all the trials, had to understand what, you know, because I felt like people come to me all the time for recommendations and for counseling on disease state management. I had to know what I was talking about. I had to know the science, and I couldn't tell anybody until I did. And it wasn't until Robin was like, you don't have to know everything. We learn while we earn here. There's resources and references you can point people to. You don't have to be it. That came a little bit during that time. During that time, I was also being inconsistent, y'all. I was that person. I was your newbie or your level 1 that keeps going, I don't think it's gonna work for me. That was me, y'all. And I'm gonna admit it out in front of everybody. I was inconsistent, and I was texting Rhea and Adrian like, hey, I don't think this is gonna work for me. That was me. And then I was also still helping my sister, right? So between that time, if I knew then what I know now, I would have started sharing sooner for those reasons, because we all know now, looking back, that was just delaying people hearing from me and getting help with these products. So in April, I think we did another launch. By then, we were doing team launches, and I ranked gold, senior gold. I had a double rank back to back in 2 months, March and April. And when I say I don't mean I mean my team at the time. At that time, you have a team. So my team, and apparently I was developing silvers. Someone said, hey, you know what, you're in the running for the silver recognition, developing silvers. How are you doing it? Someone reached out and asked. I had to think. I said, how am I doing it? How am I doing it? I am consistently just sharing the benefits of the products. And then I had started to not allow my team or the people that I share with to leave the money on the table. At that point, we're in complete shutdown and the company is doing a stimulus, right? So we're getting referral bonuses in 72 hours. Sometimes it was coming the next day. Why would I allow somebody to leave that on the table? That's leaving money on. I'm like, and that's exactly what I would tell them. Hey, I'm not going to let you leave this money on the table. Let's tell your friends, and then that way you can get in 3 days get this cash. And I think that was what I was doing, developing silver. I did not know, but that's how it took off so quickly. And around May, when I ranked to Ruby, senior Ruby, I remember being on a call with Robin talking about, and it may have been even before that, around this time, talking about Emerald by July. And I was like, you know what? No, I think I'm good. Emerald, I'm gonna be Emerald, and I'm going to do it by December. And Rhea was like, Rachel, I really think you can do it. I really think you can do it. Emerald by July, Emerald by July. And so at that point, I knew that I had to link arms with my team. My team is so phenomenal. We plug in to the things that we have already going on, and just duplicating. Robin, Rhea, Adrian poured into us. We poured down to our team. It was head down, listen to listen to the Holy Spirit about who needs to hear from you and follow through on it and just be obedient. So looking back, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, not everybody that you reach out to is wanting to understand that they need it, right? Even though you know in your core need it. That was a hard lesson for me. So I want to share that and just be transparent. That was very hard for me because people trust me as a healthcare provider. So if I'm telling you, hey, this is really going to help you, and you say, oh no, all the reasons why it doesn't, I was taking it personally. And I think at that point between senior Ruby, I mean, even now you never stop growing personally, but I think between senior Ruby and Emerald, it was a more of a looking inside, like how are you going to be better so that you can expand your influence, and what do you need to learn? Because it was an inside job all the way around. So when I started to see that, and then being plugged into what Robin was doing with our book studies, being more intentional about praying for my team and direction in my business. I never was going to be a network marketer. I was a Mary Kay. I don't think I ever told y'all this. I was a Mary Kay consultant when I first got out of college, because we have a very influential person in our family who was a national sales director. So she was grooming us, really. I wasn't passionate about it. Of course, I could do it, but I wasn't passionate about it, and it quickly fizzled out. And so I had a kind of a taste in my mouth about network marketing, because to me it was for everybody else and they would be good at it, but maybe just not for me, because I have a license I'm going to practice under, and that's what I'm going to do for my career and be a mom, and that was it. In 2019, early 2019, in January, I started thinking, what if, I need to go back to school because I was starting to feel humdrum about my day job. Um, it was limiting in the interactions that I would have was having with others. I worked from home or I worked in an office setting, and then we worked from home even before COVID. And I'm a people person, so that was a transition for me. So I started to say, you know, maybe I'll go back to school. Maybe I will change my career. Maybe I'll go out in the field. Because I wanted to have a company car. I wanted to have an expense account. I thought it was really intriguing to be able to train and present information and educate in healthcare. And then I would love to have bonuses. So some of my friends in pharma get bonuses, you know, five, five digit bonuses like every quarter or once or twice a year. And I really wanted that. So then in walks Plexus. So not only are you having fun, having the opportunity to do something where you don't have to leave your house in the middle of a pandemic, people are being, their lives are being impacted in a positive way about what you're sharing with them. And then the company is generously compensating you with bonuses, with a company car, with the opportunity to impact others' health and wellness by educating and training your team and pouring into others. It just was a win-win. So looking back, I can't imagine that I would be doing something like this, but also looking back, I can't imagine that I wouldn't. Because it just is such a no-brainer once I was able to connect those dots. I remember we were on a vision casting call. I think it was in May, and Robin talks about, you know, her influence, and then she shared her income, her monthly income. Well, she gave us an idea of painted a picture, and that rang true to me. I mean, so loudly, because I was like, do you imagine the lives that I could impact with that kind of income, residual income? So as a result of that, I won't stop sharing. I feel an obligation to improve my community with this tool that we have. I am learning every day. Like, am I like still on the calls learning? Yes, still pulling up the videos, learning. It's a constant learn while you earn. I don't have it down. My systems have holes. I'm just being transparent that if you just stay committed to sharing and fundamentally passionate about what we're doing here, and listening and being obedient and looking inside too on where we can improve, I think that the sky's the limit. So I appreciate you for letting me share, Robin. I thank you for the opportunity and just being courageous enough to count on you and showing us that we can count on us too.
Oh my goodness. I just love this, girl. Absolutely love this, because you said a mouthful when you said, Rachel, that growth is an inside job. That's the most profound thing. You said a lot of amazing things tonight, but growth is an inside job. And so I just appreciate you, girl, for your transparency, for you really sharing kind of the behind the scenes of how your journey really looked. Because so many people, I think, look at someone's highlight reel and they look at your amazing journey to Emerald and Dr. Petrie's as well, and they don't realize that, you know, school's never out for the pro. And so I just love how much you've embraced this journey and you have caught the vision of what this opportunity can do for not only you and your family, but how you truly are creating ripple effects of change in your community. So thank you so much for sharing, my friend. I love you, girl.
Love you. Thank you.
Well, those two testimonies, nothing else needs to be said. I see Dr. Williams over there beaming with pride. Love, love, love the sisterhood you have, not only with your sister Bridget and Rachel, but also Tracy and all of your amazing rock stars on your team. So thank you for sharing them with us, Dr. Williams. And You guys, if you are on this call tonight and you have been invited by a friend to learn more about not only the health wins, but the financial wins of this amazing opportunity, I really encourage you to get back with the person who invited you, for you to learn more about how to get started. So thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you guys, and y'all have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Thanks everybody for sharing.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
ladies.
Right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.